Hello, and welcome back to the Commander's Guide to Casting the Last Spell. I'm Jade Star, and we're here for Night 5 of Lakeburg on Apocalypse Mode. My cursor is still angry about the layout of the base, and we're going to have to deal with that in a moment. But first, upgrades. Oh yeah, well, I mean, she changed too. Wow, pesky twat. Didn't expect my videos to get demonetized in the first 30 seconds for swearing. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, more uncommon level ups, good to have. Items is half as much. Tough choice. But because more uncommon items is about half the Tainted Essence cost, I guess we'll get that one before we finish out character level ups. But it's starting to pay off. Look at this. Some greens, some blues, some nice stats here. It's hard to pass up blue critical. He does need accuracy, but no, not passing up blue critical. We're going to be here a while. Experience gain could be valuable. Bully to help finish up the, to continue the contamination build. Things are, what, contaminated and poisoned. That's 50% crit chance, which is nice. A little bit of resistance reduction might not be bad. It's green, so might as well take it. Getting my resistance reduction to 22 is where I'm happy with it. And likewise, we're gonna go down the blue tree. We may need to invest in some critical chance for these heroes, as Bully does decrease it a little bit for that crit chance. Well worth it, though. And now Ponzi, and this bizarre poison setup I have. This feels like a reroll. Ooh, nothing good there. Okay, well, we got accuracy. That's alright. Isolation is good. But considering what we're planning on doing with Ponzi, we're going poison damage. Oh, we're not! Oh, I took isolation! Okay. I didn't expect that. Forgive me, it's been several days since I actually played this live. The DCS is providing. I think that's our first mountain. No, we had mountains last time, didn't we? We had one. But we have another one down here. We have several bodies as well. Was I not digging immediately because I was thinking of building the seer? Oh, and here, my terrible town layout comes to just get me. I could build the tavern up here, but then I'm counting squares and it's like, oh, then the tavern is like 3 tiles away from the edge of the map, and that's just oof. I mean, well, not the edge of the map, the edge of the haven. Whereas if we get rid of these little wooden barricades, we can put the tavern down on the southeast side of the circle, and it is 5 tiles away from the edge of the haven, which is much nicer. I mean, anyway, I build, I have messed up just from the start with those houses. Let's see, what do we got? That's an elf, though. Yeah. Okay, poison, minus armor, move but minus dodge. That's pretty good. Blue line. It's just, my entire hero roster is going to have the blue line. Also, with the trait Druid, I think it was, or Shaman, and a Druid staff, our new hire is going to fit right into the poison plan. It's really just going to be more of the same. I am thinking, though, since we saw it on the last Haven, I'm going to have some answer to the boss. And slowly poisoning it to death is not the answer. I am going to need a large direct damage dealer at some point. Still have 2 more heroes to recruit and figure that out. Otherwise, I might just have to improvise and scramble. Realize there, I made a mistake. I dug for that gold before getting the production upgrade. I got the other upgrade first. And then I do it again. Oh god, what am I doing? I have just really screwed this Haven up. Alright, well, we dug as many as we can. We have a good pile of corpses, or rewards from corpses to sort through. Our mines are almost fully upgraded, except for this one, which I didn't... Oh, jeez, just... You know, you make one mistake, and it just starts compounding. It just ruins your focus. So I built this monowell just to make use of the space that I created. There was absolutely nothing else I could have done with that little space there, so I might as well build a monowell. Let's just... Alright, it's time to sort through the loot and feel better about myself. Let's go. Alright, let us see what has come to us. So, better melee weapon for Fat Samurai. A secondary weapon, the War Shield. These are fun, kind of requires a bit more of a tank build if you have a lot of block or armor reduction or something. They can be useful, I do like them. I'm going to use it because it's fun. Fur Pants is at least accuracy. TQ gets a little bit of a shield, just because one-handed weapon might as well. It has a little bit of range damage on it. And a nice little piece of armor that's actually has some stats. Oh, they hand me down light armor to our new recruit, who I renamed before, forgetting this time. Oh, I was going to get there, but that's Electic. Congratulations, welcome to the team. Ponzi gets a really rad male coif. And then the helmet of magic damage will get passed down to Electic. Also, the Prophet Toga for propagation damage goes to our staff user. And then the Commander armor, which has heavy armor value, damage, and experience points will go to Fat Samurai. So Fat Samurai does have a bit of defense to be tanking. Not maybe enough to fully lean into that War Shield, but at least enough that there's something. Do I immediately replace that for movement? Oh, Electric was at like 7 move, so I'm trading 3% damage for a movement. Yep. A wooden crossbow makes a great backup weapon just for anybody. Oh, that's a regular crossbow, not even wooden. So then I just have some stuff to sell later when we upgrade the shop for resale value. So here's our team. I feel like we got some good things. So here's Electric with 4 levels up. As a dwarf, a little bit of different skill tree on the right. We're going to get body count, and then we're going to work down the blue. But he also has a lot of XP up perks. Body count contest, followed by defensive training, and then contamination. And then lone wolf or bully. Either order is fine. I'm being indecisive. I think because he had low crit chance, I was just like, whatever. Blue damage, hard to pass that up. Good stats, but all common value. We hit the reroll. Good green damage. Alright. Green damage. At some point, I might need a little bit of accuracy on him. Move points, very useful. Oh, I rerolled the move points. Resistance reduction's a good one. He's at 22. He's good for the rest of the Haven. Poison damage. It's just going to be our thing. He's already at plus 30 for being a shaman. More poison damage. Oh boy. Cursor is angry. There's poison damage again, but I'd rather get some opportunism, especially for the Centipede's attack on the Druid Staff. I think I'm checking if I want magic damage or opportunism. Honestly, if that crossbow range damage wouldn't be bad. We're really going to lean into that. So some pretty good level ups there to start a new hero out. We don't have a whole lot of materials, like 2 or 3 ballistas worth. Again, being very angry about the tavern. We're going to get rid of these barricades just so heroes can move around. Then we're going to get rid of, eventually, these gates. So we're going to plan where we want these. We could put them in front, or we can put them behind the ballistas. And if we put them in front, they're going to be shooting outside of the Haven too much. I think we're going to put these behind the tavern, or the inn. Like, I think I really tried to do something fancy with the building layouts, and it just hasn't worked out here. Like, the standard build of mounted ballistas around the circle, and then better placement of houses and mines would have served us much better. I feel really bad about this one, and I hope I'll do better in either Amberwald or Rudenberg. Ooh, Spiked Greaves. It is hard to pass up Spiked Greaves. Especially that extra armor on it. So now Fat Samurai has quite a bit of defense going on. Yeah, one of our low accuracy guys can get the Fur Pants of accuracy. We can pass the mana down. I only have 54. Oof. Yeah, like I got 1 ballista for the materials we had at the end of the night. That is not great. We're going to destroy these gates because they're 3 tiles wide and have the same defense as one of the stone wall sections. That is only 1 tile wide. Plus, I need the Clotters to be inside the Haven to give me the bodies I need to dig up in the morning. The northeast side is alright. It's got 3 ballistas, or is it 2 and a barricade? I feel like I'm behind on materials, but we're alright. It's really helpful if they attack from the same side a couple nights in a row, especially early on, because then you don't have to keep building more ballistas on different sides. You can just be like, oh, I already have 4 ballistas here, we'll be alright. Quickly, with some Angry Mouse Cursor, pointing out that I am unhappy that the mist is as close it is, because now things can come from the docks at the north edge and just be in this open part of the Haven. I'm 1 material away from a ballista, even if it would be an unupgraded ballista. That's about the best I can do. I'm not particularly happy about the situation the Haven's in. I feel like I could have done better. That said, though, I'm not in a bad situation either. Like, the heroes are strong, I feel good about their builds. We got some pretty decent gear out of all of the corpses and everything else. And yeah, immediately turn 1, this jerk is just up there, because the mist is up there. This is our first archer of the Apocalypse setting, and I'm not happy about what they got as a result of the Apocalypse setting. They got armor piercing. The archers with 5 range have got an armor piercing. Like, lancers are bad, but they're melee. Well, they're 1 and 2, but they're mostly melee, and you can deal with them. Archers now have 5 range. So whatever their movement is, which I think is about 4, plus 5 range on their arrow, means you have to stay about 9 tiles away from an archer to not risk getting armor pierce shot by them. Not that I ever liked leaving archers alive anyway, but they have just become huge priority targets. So here's the War Shield. It's fun. It doesn't have, I think, the greatest base damage value compared to other melee weapons, but it has amazing utility on all of its attacks. Its first attack will hit a 5-tile crescent in front of the user, which is great. The second attack is for only 1 AP, a standard attack, maybe low damage compared to other things like the sword or the hammer. But it gives you block. So you deal damage and you gain like 7 or 8 block, which actually does make it quite nice. Its mana spenders include just a shield rush, just charge straight at the enemy, and it deals, I think, full damage to 3 in front and then half damage to 3 behind. And then its other big mana spender is this enormous 2x3 AoE, both in front and in back of you. So if you can, I don't know, break into the lines and then have enemies on your left and right, you just turn 90 degrees or aim 90 degrees and you just slam into the enemies. So it's a big AoE clearer. Like I said, it doesn't do quite as much raw damage as other melee weapons, but it also gets stronger the more times your character is hit on the turn before, which is the War Shield's big deal. Perfect Guard, it's called. So it's a retaliation weapon, in a sense. For this turn, I'm just going to have to leave that archer out there behind the walls. I'm not going to go out there and just be too close to the mist and or get a shot. But, yeah, that. Archers can just come out of the mist and shoot you, so even being like 6 to 8 tiles away from the mist, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so Ponzi was 7 away from the mist, and an archer just walks out and then AP shoots him. Not real happy about that. I think archers are my least favorite change from, like, the least favorite thing that's happened with the Apocalypse settings that upgrades enemies' attack. Archers getting AP is just terrible. So there's the shield bash. I love it. It's great. I'm a little bit sad that you can only use that attack twice on the War Shield. Although I guess there had to be some limitations, because if you use it too many times, you're just going to pile up a ridiculous amount of block. I'm a little worried that maybe I'm behind the damage curve I need with some of my heroes, because that was weakness plus centipedes. But also, I think my weapons might be garbage. They might still be using, like, the day 1 starter druid staff, so its raw damage is pretty low. As much as I'm committed to the poison gimmick, if my weapon isn't killing things in one hit that I need it to be killing, you gotta do something about that. Nice little jump over the walls and then snipe that archer. The hand crossbow being armor piercing is always great. We could start killing things on the northeast, but nothing's inside the haven. Except for that one guy way up there. And I also do want to deal with these archers. So power shot, real great from the crossbow. Always one of my favorites. Yeah, I just noticed him. Really, those guys aren't much of a problem, especially as they come in one at a time, but that area counts as in the haven, which means it counts towards panic, and panic means we get less rewards. I don't think they would really ever cost us a rating or a tier of rewards, but it's still something we gotta deal with. Now that they're moving to the haven, especially on that north side, the ballistas, especially the ballistas that are aiming northwest, have the ability to reach. So that was a lot of kills by our ballistas that turn. So even though there's AP archers and those are kind of annoying, I don't think there's anything that's coming in this night that's really going to overwhelm us. It is annoying that I might take another hit or two from archers coming out of the mist and AP shotting somebody, but there's nothing I can do about that. Like, being 7 tiles away from the mist edge and just unfortunately having an archer spawn in line with you, walk towards you, and shoot you is just not something I can predict or prevent. The southeast side is getting kind of spread out, which is not what I want. Honestly, ideally, and especially with our druid stats, I want the enemies packed together. I want to be able to hit them with bees. I want to hit them with the big AoE effect of the War Shield. And then just clean up whatever survives. The upside is that these interspersed pillars that I've left have distracted clawers. Which really leads me to a thought that would be really weird to test out. Also, I'm hitting my own column here because I just don't care about it. Is that if you were going to do something as material efficient as possible, that instead of building a solid wall, building a column every 3 tiles might be more efficient, because the clawers will stop and attack it, like from the tile in front, and then they'll try to bypass it, but they'll probably stop adjacent to it on the sides. So you could use one column to block the tile directly in front of it and distract the 2 columns left and right of it. So you could get, 3 clawers distracted by a single piece of wall. Now, is that actually, like, building it, that's material efficient, but repair costs might make that inefficient. But it's something I hadn't thought about. And if you want something like a speed bump for DCS, like just in case you're not fully set up and you can't handle the entire horde rushing in, then maybe that's an interesting way of slowing them down at the edges of your haven. I don't know. Again, Archer, out of the mist, shooting Fat Samurai. They must have missed. Or did we have enough block to completely mitigate it? There was 2 attacks there, so I'm not sure which one was the miss. So here's perfect guard. You get 8% damage, at least on this shield. It might scale with item level. And here's why I like the shield. Oh, I was so close to getting like 4 kills in one action. Well, 2 AP. The shield can just destroy clumps of clawers, and it's great. It's probably best suited towards large clumps of horde, or hordes of regular base clawers, rather than fighting, I was gonna say special, but like lancers or bulkies or higher tier clawers itself, because it's mostly spread out sort of damage. We also have an elite over there hiding behind the boomer, but I'm clearing out the ones that are in the haven first. Then I really, well, I'm like, I really should deal with that boomer. It's like 3 tiles away from the haven, but I realize I kind of do want it to explode, because if it kills the wall, I don't really care. That wall is just kind of there as a speed bump this turn, and we're taking panic meter because of the wall is getting damaged, and I don't want to have to deal with that, the next night. So if that boomer explodes, it's not a big deal, really. The northeast side is totally manageable. We can just spend a turn poisoning or contaminating the horde. Oh, son of a bitch. Can I reach? I'm thinking, yeah. I just need to remember to check the docks every time. It's like, oh, look at all these just useless zombies that we can kill, like, at will. And then I forget that there's one up there somewhere. Hand crossbow, also pretty good for just softening up these guys. Just to make sure that the ballistas get the kill. I think the ballistas would anyway, but there's no reason not to chip them away at to half health to make sure they die. It's hard to tell with the ballistas if you're going to make a difference or not, but if they're at half health, maybe it's 1 ballista shot instead of 2 at full. So that's helpful. So, that was great. The boomer was debuffed so much, his attack didn't do anything. I'm really... Oh, that's right. And it stunned the enemies, but it stunned them on their turn, so it wore off at the end of their turn. I was really hoping the stun would be more effective. I guess it doesn't... It's not great to have the boomer detonate and stun its own people like that, rather than killing them on our turn. So here's Fat Samurai, building up momentum by dashing through enemies and then delivering a big hit to the elite clawer. And that guy died in the Haven, so we almost guaranteed to get a corpse out of him. We still have a lot more boomers down there, which is not great. But if they explode and take out the walls, I don't really care. They might take out some of their friends. Without some sort of debuff, like Contaminate or Poison or something, the Magic Tome does better work than the Centipedes. But if you can leverage that opportunism, then the staff is going to do a lot of damage. Almost got it with the crit. That's just one of those little things you can do with the hand crossbow if you're going to be shooting multiple targets and you're going to be shooting multiple targets with each of its 3 AP. Is that you can spread the shots out. Like if something's going to take 2, you can put one on it and one on another target and just kind of hope a crit makes up the difference, rather than spending like 2 shots on the same target and like landing a crit, killing it first, and then missing with the second. Real minor optimization sort of thing. But saving AP is always valuable. So I don't really have a plan for these 3 boomers, other than fuck it, I don't care. They're gonna hit a wall and explode. I came up in the thread. If this boomer survives, you'll notice its animation. It's gonna slide northeast a tile and then explode. Like that. Very funny. That is because boomers don't explode on the tile that they're standing on. If they're doing their attack, they will slide one tile forward as if it's a melee attack, and the epicenter of the explosion will occur from that tile rather than the tile they're standing on. This is important if you have heroes behind walls, because you're like, okay, the boomer's outside the walls, it'll explode, it'll damage my walls badly, but my hero's behind the walls, they'll be safe. No. The explosion will originate on the tile with the wall, and then hit anything that's adjacent to that tile, which might include your hero. Oftentimes it includes your ballistas. Killed that one, lost another section of wall. Don't really care. They block line of sight, so they're actually kind of detrimental to me in my plans moving forward. But they were a good way of dealing with some boomers. We weren't doing super great on the southeast side, just because there was a bunch of archers and special things that were taking a little bit more effort to kill than I would have liked. You know, War Shield and the spiky counter build, just gotta give that a go sometime. Alright, well, it looks like we lost the S rank of Panic due to wall damage, but oh well. Not overly concerned with that. I think the map is ending, so I don't even care that these last 2 guys are outside of the Haven. I think I was quickly trying to compare the damage on Shield Up versus the sword, but that's not really fair when the sword is based around momentum damage. And the last Claude died. So that went pretty well, honestly, despite my griping, like, about how I don't feel like I handled the southeast front perfectly. We didn't really lose anything. Like, those were all walls and stuff I could have taken down if I'd wanted myself. They did provide a nice speed bump for tonight. The next night we're going to have more ballistas or more heroes. It'll be alright. We still get our nightly item reward, which is really the only breakpoint in panic rewards that I care about. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. That's, what, 3 mountains and plenty of bodies to dig through. So this is pretty good. We've got a lot of stuff to dig through in the morning. And hopefully I can find some better weapons. Those level 0 druid staffs just aren't going to cut it any longer. We really need some upgrades on them. That said, you know, we're still in pretty good shape. Plenty of money, we got the gold mines passively providing, we've got a lot of corpses to dig up. I think the Haven will really start to ramp up from here on. We might need a 5th hero next time, but it doesn't seem like it if the waves are going to be the same size. Yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty well. So that will be it for this video. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.